Hello there, my name is Matthew Johns. I'm the Product Marketing Manager for SUSE OpenStack Cloud, and I'm here today to talk to you about hybrid and multi-clouds. I spend a lot of time meeting with customers, partners, and various attendees at trade shows and exhibitions around the world. And in a lot of conversations with people, I found that there still seems to be some degree of confusion around just what the terms hybrid cloud and multi-cloud are. So I thought I'd record a video to try and help clarify each one in some pretty simple terms. So no one can deny that hybrid and multi-cloud are important. But according to a survey of over 1,400 IT decision makers last year, many think that the term hybrid cloud is misunderstood, as well as being misused in the industry. However, despite this confusion, Whitescale's 2018 State of the Cloud report shows that over half of technical professionals have a hybrid cloud strategy, while 81% have a multi-cloud strategy. When you look at these four statistics together, you really do have to wonder just how this is possible when there's so much confusion. So let's take a step back and start to look at some of the definitions around clouds, because we need to begin with an even playing field first. So first of all, public cloud. Now, I'm pretty sure that most people will understand what public cloud is, and in fact, most people are probably using it in some way, shape, or form right now. It's a shared infrastructure that you access via the internet. It's normally massively scalable and requires no upfront payment or invoicing. Many businesses are using it already because it's cheap to get started, it's ideal for test and development environments, it offers an enormous choice of applications and technologies, and of course it can scale very quickly to meet customer demand. So to use a seaside analogy, as us British do so love to be beside the seaside, public cloud can be compared to a public beach. Anyone can get access, and you get to share it with lots of other people that you don't necessarily know. Now, this may not be a problem to many people, but at peak times, the beaches can get very busy, and it could be hard to find a space to sit down without getting a beach ball or something worse in the face. Now, in the world of cloud computing, sometimes public cloud infrastructures can become very busy, and if one application running on a cloud infrastructure suddenly starts getting overloaded with traffic, maybe it's a website that's gone viral or it's been hacked or infected by a virus, then this does have the potential to cause a slowdown for other users. Now, this is a fairly rare occurrence, but it's not entirely unheard of. And when you look at the potential of that compared to the actual benefits that public cloud can give you, it's quite an easy way to look at that and say, well, do you know what? We're going to go with public cloud. But when you look at private cloud, that can be a little bit more confusing, as some people have a tendency to refer to their non-virtualized environments in on-premises data centers as private clouds. Private clouds are a dedicated infrastructure that's been virtualized in some way, shape, or form, usually with a cloud management platform. As a result, it offers cloudy capabilities in the form of fast-to-create resources that can scale quickly. Now, these are usually in customers' own data centers or maybe in one of their partners' data centers. Many enterprises go for a private cloud because they find it's easier to secure, it offers guaranteed performance, so for example, no noisy neighbors, and because it makes data sovereignty easier to manage, makes complying with regulatory and legislative standards such as the recently introduced GDPR much more simple. When you look at beaches again, this is more like that private beach where you've got plenty of space and you can set it out however you like. You want chairs and a table, maybe a few sun loungers. No problems. It's your space, so you get to use it how you prefer. You don't need to worry about other beachgoers getting into your space, and the same applies to a private cloud environment. These are built for you and tailored to you as a customer, and while they may well be set up using a template, you get to define just how big or small, how powerful, who accesses what, where it's set up, and how it's secured. So lots of potential benefits there, particularly from an enterprise perspective. But hybrid cloud is where it starts to get a little bit confusing, because when you talk about hybrid cloud, it's typically a combination of public and private cloud resources. But the thing that makes it unique is that it's been configured in a way that they operate as one seamless infrastructure, one extending into the other. And this isn't the easiest thing in the world to do sometimes. Now, this does give you the ability to more easily secure your business critical workloads in your private cloud environment, while you can still spin up very quickly new resources for test and development, new projects, or to cope with customer demand. Going back to the beach analogy, this is like your own fenced off area within a public beach where you get to enjoy the shared area and use that as and when you want, but you know that you've got your own private area to relax in and have a beverage of your choice. Multi-cloud is a lot easier to understand. It's simply a combination of multiple clouds in use within one organization. Now, this may be multiple public clouds, or some public and some private. This has got lots of benefits for businesses. Different applications have different requirements. Different teams can use different providers based on their personal preference or a distinct technological need. However, there are some substantial disadvantages to multi-cloud sometimes. When you look at having to use different application programming interfaces or APIs across different platforms, this requires a lot of work when you're moving an application from one to another, and billing can get confusing with multiple different clouds being billed at different times and potentially to different staff members' credit cards. Tracking who is using what can become very difficult indeed. In fact, thanks to shadow IT, many enterprises have no idea what cloud providers are being used by which teams within their business. And when you look at this from a beach perspective, this is the equivalent of visiting multiple beaches at maybe different times for different reasons. Perhaps one has fantastic sand for building sand castles and sand sculptures, while another might have the best waves for surfing, and another still the best seafood shack in town. All have got their own benefits, and they all give a specific reason for you to visit them. And as I mentioned earlier, through shadow IT, many businesses will already be using multi-cloud within their enterprise, and sometimes without using it, as those different teams start using different clouds to meet their individual requirements without any specific centralized control or management in place. Now, there's no definitive way of looking at applications or companies and deciding whether hybrid or multi-cloud is best for them. In some cases, businesses may well use both, but these questions may become helpful to you as your organization starts to look at it. If you need to scale quickly beyond your internal resources, then perhaps a hybrid cloud environment where you can scale seamlessly into that public cloud at a relatively low cost could work well. Business critical applications may work best with multi-cloud approach so that you can isolate business critical applications within a private cloud while using multiple other clouds for non-critical applications. And the same could be said to apply to regulatory compliance. Multiple clouds in multiple countries could be better able to cope with the compliance, as you can isolate specific workloads that are subject to the compliance in a cloud that meets those compliance requirements. Data sovereignty is a very, very similar situation. These days, with an ever-changing global political situation, this is really only going to become a much bigger problem for more companies. Multi-cloud gives you the opportunity to move applications and data to clouds within a specific geographic location as and when you need to, but obviously be aware of bandwidth costs if you're doing this, as large amounts of data transferring across the internet could incur costs, but you also need to think about if you're doing that encrypting data to make sure that it is secure in transit. But as I said earlier, there really is no definitive way of deciding which is best for you without really taking a deep dive into the application, the workload, and of course your business requirements on an individual basis. There may in fact be many cases where somebody might choose hybrid to cope with data sovereignty, as they're able to fit both parts of hybrid within the geographic location that they need. Unfortunately, there really is no simple answer to this very simple sounding question. Now, we do have lots of very interesting information on our website that you might find useful to further explore this topic as you're progressing on your journey to cloud, as well as information about public clouds and private clouds. Simply visit www.susa.com/solutions/cloud to learn more, or follow one of these other links. And there are plenty more available within the pages of our website. Thanks for listening. I hope you found this useful, and please do feel free to get in touch via Twitter at MattJohns1, that's MattJohns1, if you have any questions or thoughts on this, or if you think there's something else that you'd like to see covered in a future recording. Thank you and goodbye.